Morning everyone, John with SST again. Hope you're having a great day. Today's video we'll be talking with Michael Wrigley. He's the CFO and COO of Label Sourcing in the Atlanta, Georgia area. They have two facilities there using screen printing, flexo, and digital technologies to print labels, decals, and graphic overlay. They converted 7 of their screen printing presses from UV arc over to the SST LED system now earlier this year, completing in June, and now working on a couple of flexo presses as well. So Michael's going to talk through some of their observations they realized since making the changeover, including saving about 400,000 kilowatt hours per year, which equates to about $60,000 or more per year in utility costs, being able to increase the thermostat in the printing room by about 10 degrees due to the fact we're putting out a lot less heat now with the SST LED system compared to UV arc, and also then reducing carbon emissions by about 200 tons per year on those 7 presses so far. And lastly, about a rebate that they were able to qualify for based on the kilowatt hours savings per year, which equated to about 30% of the cost of the LED investment. So with that said, let's hear what Michael has to say. Michael, nice to meet you. Appreciate the information and partnership so far.
Absolutely.
So first, let's start with from a kind of top level perspective. What were your drivers in being interested in moving to LED from UV and water-based curing?
Well, the technology has been evolving. We've been looking at LED now for probably 10 years, and we're in an association that allows us to visit with a lot of our peer companies, and some of them made the switch and some of them haven't. So we've been watching it. It's, when it first came out, extremely expensive. The inks, the technology in the beginning had a lot of evolution that needed to occur. So we paid attention to it till we got to the point to where we thought it made sense to do it. So we opened a new facility in Eatonton, Georgia. We decided that facility is going to be a green facility. We're going to be all LED.
Yep.
Since then, we merged that facility with our Norcross facility, brought SST online, and have converted this whole facility into LED.
Okay, great. That's good background. And then, so obviously there's more than one LED company out there. Can you share a bit, why did you end up choosing to go with the SST LED technology?
Well, we started with another company in our Eatonton facility, primarily because they were the name brand in this industry. And so we really didn't know anything about any other competing companies. So we started with them with their with 3 units, and they work great, no real problems. The service has been good on them, but they're not water cooled. So they do produce a little bit of heat that goes into the plant.
Mm-hmm.
SST came along through NASDAR for us. NASDAR is our ink company. They're located about 5 miles from our Norcross plant. We've been terrific partners now for over 30 years. And so when NASDAR said they have hitched their wagon to SSTs and they're promoting them and they're working with them and they're testing inks with them, that was all we really needed to hear.
So what were some of the key aspects to help justify the project? Was it energy savings, sustainability? What were your key drivers to help justify the project?
I would say early on, it was the energy savings, which seems like that's what most of the companies are out there are promoting, that your payback for this equipment is going to be fairly quick. And by quick, I mean probably 2 to 3 years. So that's what got us initially started on it and interested in the technology. The environmental impact has been really big for us and big for a lot of our customers, as far as carbon emissions and just the heat that these UV systems put out. So it's made our plant a much more comfortable environment to work in.
Yep.
You've gotten rid of all the blowers that come with the UV units. So all that noise has left the building. All the heat that they produce has left the building.
Yep.
So my employees just love it. They have a smile on their face from the time they get in to the time they leave.
Probably a bit of a reduced load on the summertime HVAC, I assume, as well.
That has been the very the best part about it, I would say. Our plant's got relatively high ceilings, and cooling it is a real challenge.
Yeah.
We have 6 or 7 HVAC units back there, and they run wide open nonstop, and still it's hot. So when we went to the LED, it has been really amazing. I would say the temperature in the plant has dropped 10 to 15 degrees. The HVAC systems, we've been able to turn the heat or turn the air up. We used to keep them on 68. I think now they're on 75. And I've still got people walking around back there with jackets and overcoats and pullovers on.
Even here in late June now.
That's right.
In Atlanta.
That's
Great.
right. So that's been a very pleasant side effect.
It's one of those little side things people don't think about a lot, but it's probably one of the number one things we hear after we go in is how nice it is to get rid of the heat.
Well, and it's so good for the employees. It's so good for the work environment, and quite frankly, it's very good for productivity.
Yeah.
Because if people are comfortable and they're not hot and sweating and sticky, they're a lot more efficient.
Yeah, that's fantastic extra benefit there.
Yep.
How about from the whole process, retrofitting over, support with SST, from your perspective and management, how did that process go?
That was also surprisingly easy. We've got a great electrician we work with. He worked with your people to figure out the electrical requirements for the equipment. So we had the electrical run. Your guy came down, hooked it all up in, 2-3 hours, had our first unit hooked up from SST. Our guys watched him do it. So the next 2 units y'all shipped over, we installed them by ourselves.
Oh. And
easy, smooth, and no problems, no downtime. We might have lost an hour of productivity while we switched over, and that was a very pleasant surprise. We're switching 4 more lines today in the Bogart facility, and he expects to be, and a flexo press. We're going to do one of the ink stations there, and that should all be wrapped up today.
I know there's also, in your case, a potential rebate from an energy company involved. You don't mind going in a bit how that process has worked and how do you go about qualifying for it, and what type of rebate is that?
Yeah, so our plant, we've got 3 different plants now, but we're consolidating. Actually 4 to 2, excuse me. So the one in Norcross is managed by an EMC, and they don't really offer a rebate program, but the one in Bogart is run by Georgia Power. That's who provides our electricity, and they do have rebate programs. So we've been working with John, SST, and my people here to fill out their forms for the rebates. And we've gotten it all put together. You have to figure out your power consumption and kilowatt hours used and saved. And I think we're pretty close to being finalized with that. And we think the rebate could be in the $40,000 to $45,000 range, which is a huge help and helps with the payback dramatically.
I know in helping out with that sum, they're basically giving you 10 cents for every kilowatt hour that you document that you can save.
Okay.
And so if we get around 400,000 kilowatt hours saved, and that's in that 40,000 ballpark.
No, that's a very pleasant surprise that we ran into, and I don't know that we could have gotten it all done and filled out without SST's help.
It's something we've been offering more and realizing there's a kind of a need for it out there, and we realize that we qualify for these things quite easily, so it's really a win-win for everybody. I think the background behind it, you're pretty close to 90% reduction in energy from UV to LED, and then 100% reduction in the exhaust systems, which you mentioned you turned those off altogether.
Yep.
And then we factored in about a 40% reduction from HVAC. So all those together, it added up to that kilowatt hour. And in your case,
it's a big number, and it's not even the savings or the rebate. It's just what it's doing for the environment and what it's doing for the workplace and how comfortable it is now.
Yep. And then from a utility bill perspective, I think we're thinking somewhere probably close to 40,000 up a year or something like that in utilities. That's for one facility only.
I would say I don't have all my full numbers here yet, but I think in Norcross our savings is going to be in the 30 to 40,000 range, and I think Bogart it could be up in the 50,000 range.
Great. So that's real money to the bottom line.
It's real money. We're saving that money. We can turn around and reinvest it back with SST to buy more units.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's music.
Win-win.
So, again, really appreciate the partnership, Michael. Anything else you can add? Either good or bad. Anything else you'd like to share?
Not really. I think we covered it all. I'm just, like I said, it's been great for us. We've reached out to a lot of our larger clients and explain to them what we're doing and all the carbon emissions savings and what it's doing for the environment, and a lot of them have mandates to work with companies that offer those types of savings and that are trying to go green. And so it's been good for our client base, it's been good for our employees, and it's been good for our wallet.
Yep. Awesome. That's all good stuff.
Yep.
Again, really appreciate the partnership and look forward to many good years going forward.
We got a lot more equipment to convert, so I'm sure we will be working very closely with SST.
First, I'd just like to say thanks again to Michael and the team at Label Source for being so open and willing to share information regarding these retrofits and the benefits they're realizing. Hopefully you were able to learn something regarding the many benefits of switching over to LED. So I want to make sure people are aware that the technology works extremely well in almost any printing environment, whether it's flexo, screen, offset, or even digital applications. If you have any interest in looking into rebates that you may be qualified for, we're more than happy to help with that process, both with investigating what rebates may exist, in addition to helping you all the way through the process like we did with Label Source and now many other companies. So thanks again to Michael and Label Source. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly or use the resources you see on the screen here. Thanks and have a great day.